Imagine being on top of the world. Fame, fortune, and millions of people looking up to you. But behind the scenes, there's a shadow that follows you, watching your every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This is the reality for one of Atlanta's biggest names in music, and it's all tied to an underground battle between law enforcement and the streets. For years, authorities have been keeping close tabs on Lil Baby, believing that he's not just an artist, but the central figure in a much bigger operation. But is there truth to these claims? Or is he simply the latest target in a growing effort to take down influential figures from his world? If you've ever watched his performances or listened to his music, you might have noticed a recurring symbol, a hand sign, a number, or even a chain that carries significant weight 4PF. For some of you who might not know this symbol, 4PF means 4 pocketful. The people around him refer to themselves as a unit, a movement, and to the public it's simply a brand. But to those enforcing the law, he insists it's just a business, much like other labels before him that have dominated the industry. However, authorities believe they've seen this play out before, where a seemingly innocent venture like 4PF masks something much darker. And that's where things get complicated. There's a pattern forming, one that Atlanta officials have used before. If you pay attention, you'll notice that certain names in the industry have faced similar accusations. The argument is always the same. This isn't just a record company, it's an organization operating beyond music. And once that narrative takes hold, it leads to investigations, charges, and in some cases, entire careers being dismantled. One of the biggest cases that shook the city involved another well-known figure, Lil Durk, who found himself entangled in a high-profile legal battle. The reasoning? His connections, his affiliations, and what prosecutors believed was a structured network operating behind the scenes. And now, history seems to be repeating itself. The situation took a dangerous turn when tensions between groups escalated into real violence. An incident in a residential area left multiple individuals caught in the crossfire, and those responsible weren't tied to the Lil Baby directly. Instead, they were reportedly rivals, people who had long-standing issues with 4PF. But here's where things take a turn. Law enforcement alleges that before the violence erupted, Lil Baby made a bold move, one that they claim was meant to send a message. Reports suggest he traveled into what was considered enemy territory, filming a project there, knowing full well the weight of that action. In street culture, such a move isn't just business, it's a challenge, and challenges have consequences. After that, things spiraled. A confrontation broke out at the scene, setting off a chain reaction that led to devastating events, and ultimately, innocent lives were lost. This has only fueled law enforcement's mission to bring him in. Here's the crucial part. Despite their certainty, officials have yet to name him outright. They've dropped hints, issued warnings, and made statements that allude to their target, but they've stopped just short of publicly connecting him to it. Instead, they've allowed the public to draw their own conclusions. And this is where the real danger lies. Once someone is associated with a major crime, regardless of hard evidence, public perception shifts. This perception can be just as damaging as an official charge because it builds the foundation for a case long before a courtroom is involved. It's a strategy we've seen before, and it almost always ends with someone being taken down. Rumors suggest that legal action is already in motion, with officials gathering what they believe is enough to proceed. But that doesn't mean a conviction is guaranteed. In fact, the road ahead is filled with challenges for both sides. For Lil Baby, the goal is to prove that he's simply an artist, a businessman, and not the figure they're painting him to be. For authorities, it's about connecting the dots, making the public believe that his influence extends far beyond music and into something criminal. But one thing is certain, this is just the beginning. The battle between perception and truth is about to unfold, and the world will be watching. So, what do you think? Is this just another case of a rising star being unfairly targeted, or is there something more beneath the surface? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over.